Hey friends, Pastor Bill Walden here with Build Up the Church. This is the devotional word for April 30th, 2024, and this is out of the Gospel of Luke, chapter 23. In Luke chapter 23, we see the Jewish religious leaders taking Jesus to Pontius Pilate. They wanted to have Jesus killed, but as far as their legal ability to do that, they were not able to. Rome would not allow Jewish authorities to execute anyone, and so they took him to Pilate to try to persuade Pilate to have Jesus executed. They presented a lot of false accusations against Jesus, trying to persuade Pilate to lean in their favor. We pick up the story here in Luke chapter 23, verse 1. Then the whole multitude of them arose and led him to Pilate, and they began to accuse him, saying, "We found this fellow perverting the nation, forbidding to pay taxes to Caesar, saying that he himself is Christ, a king." So they're making up accusations that would seem threatening to Pilate. Then Pilate asked him, saying, "Are you the king of the Jews?" And he answered him and said, "It is as you say." So Pilate said to the chief priests and the crowds, "I find no fault in this man." But they were the more fierce, they wouldn't be denied. And they said, "He stirs up the people, teaching all throughout Judea, beginning from Galilee to this place." When Pilate heard of Galilee, he asked if this man were a Galilean. Now Pilate wants to hand him off to Herod. Pilate doesn't believe that Jesus is guilty, but he wants to be absolved of having to make this decision. As soon as he knew that he belonged to Herod's jurisdiction, he sent him to Herod, who was also in Jerusalem at that time. So Herod normally was up in Galilee, where Jesus spent most of his time and where Jesus was born. Now when Herod saw Jesus, he was exceedingly glad, for he had desired for a long time to see him, because he had heard many things about him, and he hoped to see some miracle done by him. Now here's where we stop and pause and consider. People often say, if God would just reveal himself to me, if he would just do some kind of miracle, if he would just heal my sick relative, if he would just give me that job, if I could hear his audible voice, then I would believe. Herod here is face to face with God in the flesh, and all he wants to see is some miracle, literally some form of entertainment done by Jesus. In the early 1970s, there was a musical that was written and produced and performed called Jesus Christ Superstar. And in their sarcastic, mocking way, they did a scene of Herod interviewing Jesus. And Herod's dancing around and being flippant with all of his attendants and that kind of thing. And he's kind of mocking Jesus and inviting Jesus through song to prove who you are, Jesus. And at one point in this scene, Herod looks at him and flippantly says, "Prove to me that you're no fool. Walk across my swimming pool." I really believe that that's the human condition. You can have God right in front of you, but if you have already closed your mind and your heart off to Jesus Christ, you may ask for some evidence to be shown to you, but you're not going to believe it because you've already made up your mind. Imagine mocking God in the flesh, God standing in front of you, and all you want to do is to be entertained. Jesus, prove to me that you're no fool. Walk across your swimming pool. If you do this for me, then I'll let you go free. Those are the lyrics to the song. Herod didn't care about justice. Herod didn't care about truth. Herod didn't care about God. He only cared about himself. He had already executed John the Baptist, Jesus' cousin, and presumably after that his heart got harder and harder until God in the flesh was standing before him, and all he wanted to do was be entertained. Dear friends, I don't consider myself a pessimist, but I do consider myself a biblicist and a realist. And the Bible says, "For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God." The Bible also says in the book of Ephesians, "For we are by nature children of wrath." We are by nature, in our deepest, innermost being, rebellious against God. And you may say, or I may have said at some time, "God, if you would just show yourself, then I'll believe." Don't be so sure. God has shown himself. He's revealed himself through nature, Romans chapter 1. He's revealed himself in your conscience, Romans chapter 2. There's a lot of evidence that there is a God out there, and that evidence invites you to look more further and with an investigative heart to know that God is really there. But if you're not interested, then you'll just invite him to do some flippant miracle like walk across your swimming pool. Don't let your heart get in that condition, friend. God has said, if you seek me with your whole heart, you'll find me. And what a wonderful that discovery is when it happens. So I invite you, if you have a Bible, pick it up, read the Gospel of John in the New Testament. If you mean it, say this prayer, God, if you're there, I'm ready. And he'll reveal himself. I really believe that. Some things for you to think about. Thanks for watching.